Hey guys, welcome back to business. I'm here with my partners Wade and James. They are my partners in crime in this whole build your business, make your business bigger, better, stronger, better for this year, 2023. We're going to dive in and we're going to look at some efficiencies, how you can become more efficient as a business owner, as a leader in the community. That's what we're looking into today. That's what we're diving into today. Wade, I'm gonna kick it to you first. How can we be more efficient?
Well, I'm probably going to go a little philosophical on you guys. I think all three of us have been in business many, many years, and we probably always think about efficiency and effectiveness, and as we should. Obviously, we're trying to make the best bang for the buck we can. But, focusing on efficiency can be very misleading if we don't put it in context. So, kind of what I wanted to talk about, at least kicking this off today, is what works in one context for efficiency and effectiveness may not work for another in another context. For a business that operates like in a highly competitive market, say where there's big price competition, efficiency and effectiveness are key to survivals. Say you're trying to compete with Walmart, you gotta play the game and be as cost effective as you can. But if you're in a niche market that prioritizes like customer service and trying to differentiate that customer service, then efficiency model may be the wrong play for you. There's a couple of examples we could give, but also kind of putting this in context and putting it in perspective, the right goals can evolve over time. So trying to be efficient and effective when you're paying attention to the wrong things can also be the kiss of death in business. If a business is in startup mode or growth mode, you may need to focus on things like short-term profitability. But as a business matures, you often need to shift the focus to more of a long-term sustainable growth pattern. So again, there's several things that can affect what you're looking at on the efficiency, things like changes in the economy, inflation, maybe the market or technology or government regulations. So just to kind of wrap up my thoughts here, when determining the right goals for a company, consider the context and adjust it accordingly. And then every so often, you need to reevaluate it every 6 months or a year. And I'll just kind of leave my thought with this: efficiency and effectiveness are the engines that drive success. But without the right destination, you're just spinning your wheels. And if you're getting traction, you might be on the wrong track. And that only means you're getting to the wrong place a little faster. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, good points, good points. So when I think of efficiency in business, I look at like for this year, we set aside three goals for this year. We just wanted to be super efficient at everything we do. We wanted to make sure that we focused on scalability, right? So when we think about scalability, and I'm in the IT field, so scalability for me is kind of like what are the things that we're having to repeat touch? What are those repeat issues that keep coming up, keep dragging the team down? And when those tickets come in and the team goes, oh, I got to install 13 printers, or oh, I got to set up 45 email accounts. When we look at those things, what can we do to minimize that burden, right, for the team, right? We also look at ways we can do it without increasing the price point to the end customer, too. So we looked at, okay, let's heavily evaluate our SOPs, our standard operating procedures, right? Even Delta has it down where their pilots have a manual for each plane to make sure they do a checklist and then this and that before they even pull out the gate. So why wouldn't we do the same thing in business, right? Why wouldn't we have this is how you create an email account, this is how you configure a firewall, this is how much time it's going to take to dedicate to this process, right? So we started honing in dead set on that this year, and we are coming along cooking that thing like Crisco. Like it's baking in the oven right now. Another thing we looked at too is what can we automate, right? What can we automate to get the systems to resolve for us so that my team isn't burdened down with 500 tickets in a month, right? So we looked at ways we could write scripts to automate some of the remediation. And it's almost like we treat it like a three strikes you're out rule with automation, right? The script will try to run three different times and three different occasions. And if it doesn't work, it's going to raise a ticket to the system and then a technician looks at it, right? So we're really trying to hone in on the real issues, being proactive, getting those deals done, those issues done before the end customer even sees it, right? Another thing I want to touch on too is a lot of businesses asking, or business owners asking me, like, what are you guys doing for marketing? I see your face everywhere in the community, right? Well, we use a lot of AI and we use a lot of AI tools to help us market, from content creation to really anything you want to ask AI to assist you with. It's almost like the new Google, in my opinion. So people will say, just go Google it, just go AI it, right? And I'm not going to call any AI team out because they're all good. But I think this is the way that businesses elevate their business and scale and grow efficiently.
Okay. Can
Really
I
good.
chime in on that? I mean,
Go for it. Yep.
'cause I know we've all been talking about things like Chat GPT and some of the things that they're doing, but when I jumped out in business, Michael Gerber came out with the E-Myth and systematizing your business and, putting those processes in place you're talking about. Well, one of the main things that Chat GPT could be doing for your business is just put in there, write me a workflow for getting an invoice out the door.
Right.
And it may not be your exact process, but it'll get you started. And a lot of times it'll do a great job of getting you started. So just want to throw that out.
Yeah. What I've told people too in that framework is, look, just realize it's a tool. It's not a human, right? It's a tool that helps build a template for what you're trying to accomplish. I've used it to help me build SOPs around creating an email, right? Creating an email account on Office 365. I had it write me a template for that. I had it write me a business continuity template. That what it does is it builds out the framework so you don't spend a whole bunch of time at the keyboard chugging away at that thing. You just fill in the blanks and you tailor that document to your need. I always tell people too, don't take it at face value. Go ahead and use the tool and then use that as your frame of your building. So like if I were building a house, you got to start with a foundation, right? That's you, the computer and the keyboard and the internet, right? That's your foundation. And then you got the studs. The studs is what builds the frame of the house. That is your AI assistant. Let that AI build your house.
I thought when you talking about studs, you were going to talk about James and your son.
He is the next stud in line, though.
Yeah. Look, man, y'all both make some really great points. The side that I always think about is the tactical piece. How do you apply it daily, right? And the whole thought here is efficiencies in scalability. If I only have 2 clients and I only have to work 2 hours a week, I don't need efficiencies because I have no clients. So what happens, right? You start a business, you hustle your butt off, it starts growing, you're actually good at what you do, you build new skills, then you got to start getting more and more clever, all right? More efficiencies, right? So coming from someone whose goal was always just to outwork everybody in the room, that can only take you so far. What got you here cannot necessarily carry you into the future. It may be a skill set that helps get you there, but it's not necessarily just going to carry you into the future. So my major pitfalls were, and I hope you can use this to try to avoid them yourself, paralysis by analysis. Take a plan, build a plan. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but that's the whole point. You can't just set it up and just walk away from it. It's supposed to be something. Now your time is spent on that item to make it where it flows out and works more efficiently for everyone. But it's constantly got to be tweaked. Get a plan, execute on the plan, and then tweak it as you go. And even if you feel like you got it right, after a while, go back and look at it. I'm doing that right now in my business. I'm having to jump in on areas that I normally didn't work in, and I'm having to go back and do things. And I'm going, why is our process like this? It's so stupid. It's so slow. It's so inefficient. But when I made it, it was 10 times better than what we had. Now it's time to make it 10 times better than what it sits at today. So going back, analyze it, and stay curious about that stuff. Stay curious about it and keep tweaking it if you want to keep growing and expanding it. That's your thing. The other thing I will say is don't always look for the new flashy tool. You think, oh, I'm exhausted. You hit a breaking point. You decide it's to change something. We got to get more efficient. So you just go buy this brand new tool. Once you start first by looking through and auditing what you have, make some tweaks, figure it out, know that like the back of your hand, and then decide if the tool is going to fit. You're not just going to go buy something and it's going to fix everything. Because if that's the case, you wouldn't have a business because the competition would just overrun you because anybody can just buy the tool and outdo you. So your business is unique to you. Make sure you're editing your plan. It's going to be custom every time, and then buy the tools as you need them. But make sure what you have now, you're trying to make it work.
Those are all facts for sure. When I think about buying the tools, at what point, right? Like we all started out with a 1 or 2 person shop or 1 or 2 person client base, right? And you're like, at what point can I even afford to buy the tools, right? So you're looking at that, constantly evaluating that. And then you don't want to make a wrong decision when you do have the money to buy the tools. Mm-hmm. So you're like, toilet paper entrepreneur that thing like nobody's business. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Wade, you got anything you want to add on to James's?
Well, no, I think we've all probably think like the next tool or the next software is going to be the thing that revolutionizes our business. And I know I've been really bad about investing in all this software, and then some worked out and some doesn't. But you probably can talk about this a little more than I can, but the AI stuff is evolving so rapidly. It's crazy, but there are a lot of things out there that we should pay attention to. But you just got to stop that bright, shiny object thing.
Right.
Stop looking at those bright, shiny objects.
Yeah, they can be distracting for sure. I would definitely recommend early on with newer businesses, do as much as you can the right way out of the gate, at least when it comes to technology. Do it right out of the gate if you can afford it. There's a lot of companies that just call up Spectrum or call up AT&T and says, I need internet, and then they're in business. But there's a lot of protections that they need to put in place that are very affordable to get started easily and right, do it right from the start. So I'm always coaching and consulting when it comes to that kind of thing. And I like to be in that position so I can help people because I've been there. So I get it. I totally get
it. And this group right here is a perfect example of ways to test things. Because if I don't know about something, I'm going to ask these 2 guys right here. There's a chance one of them's already looked into it, tried it, spent money on it, and they can give me feedback. And then vice versa. So we have this pool of knowledge with each of us not having to spend money on something if they already have a good piece of advice. Hey, here's what I liked. Here's what I didn't like about it, right? Or if it's something in my industry, I'll go hit up a couple other people in my industry to see if any of them have used it. That's really good. One last thing I'll say is, if you're spending more time on the artwork that's going in your office walls or the desk organizer that it matches and feng shuis with everything in your office over your processes, procedures, and your efficiencies, you might want to do a little check-in on that. So that'll help too.
What? That doesn't happen. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We don't see that. We don't see that at all. You go into offices and the curtains match and the cushions on the couch and the pillows all match, but they have nothing for cybersecurity. I don't know what you're talking about. Or it's probably not insured, or it's probably not recorded on their tax statement either.
But they usually have no problem telling me they got more expenses. So.
Yeah. No, that's the truth.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. We're not going to keep the folks too long, but I'll recap just to say my name is Morel McCrary. I am with Ramtech PC Solutions. We make IT simple and cybersecurity as well. We're focusing on cyber and compliance. So if you ever have that need, don't hesitate to reach out and give me a shout. Wade with Carpenter Company CPAs. He is not your average bean counter. Wade is like the magician, the Michael Jordan for your accounting. James Chapman with AC Insured, right? Did I get it right that time?
Yeah. We'll go with that. Hey, man, I just take any plugs I can get. I'm Hey You. and I sling a little insurance from here to there. But yeah, we're a full service agency. We got you covered, focusing on your business insurance needs.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, guys, I appreciate you meeting with us today. Thank you for your time. Hopefully, we helped someone become more efficient in their business today.